Hey, welcome back to Narrow Ways Farm. I promised you a video tonight and I can't seem to figure out my new GoPro. Well, not new. I guess we've had it for a while, but I need some help with how to get things off of there. So I did some filming and maybe I'll post that at some other time. But I wanted to do just a quick little tour of the farm and talk a little bit about just quickly what we've got going on. Again, it's been a little over a year since we've been here. So if I turn the camera around, over here is where we did have the pigs a year ago. And we want to get them back in the forest. And I'm not sure if we'll put them back here or honestly like back there somewhere. But we had them here, and I had mentioned that we were gonna put up a greenhouse, and we have done that. So it's a high tunnel. It's large. We've made lots of mistakes with it. One, it's solid. It's great. It's going to do us wonders. But I'm still learning, still trying to figure things out. We want to do something a little bit more solid with the front and the back. Put a door in, some vents, some heating elements. Don't need any heat today. It is like blazing hot here in North Carolina. But we also started our orchard. So we've got a bunch of different fruit trees, and I want to make this actually a food forest. And so I have some plans to cut this way low, get some cardboard, put it down, start building the soil, make compost, and then I want to put some food essentially into this area so that we have it. But again, it's going to be somewhat of a food forest, and it's going to take us years to kind of build the soil and figure this out and do all this stuff. So way in the back there, let me see if I can walk in a way that kind of helps you to see. We do have our bees. So I will try to zoom in a little bit. I'm not going to get real close, but over there we have 3 beehives. So we are raising bees for honey. So that's what we're doing as well. So nothing really new with this pasture. We do have some stuff planted up here, but we're still trying to figure out the soil, still trying to figure everything out. So, we'll see. This is a just like a flower garden. I want to make it more of a medicinal garden. But I've got to pull a bunch of this stuff out of here. It's so overgrown. I don't know if the stuff in here is weeds versus plants versus whatever. So I got to pull a lot of this out here. I know that my mom wants to come take some of the bulbs, and everything's multiplied so much in here that's just so overgrown. So we definitely have to do something with that. Okay, and then up here, again, I want to do some other stuff with these beds. I want to make this more of a perennial kind of a thing. We have these Egyptian walking onions, which they're super bizarre first year that we've had them. There was actually a homesteader that gifted us 3, and they've kind of turned into this. And so I don't know how big these onions are supposed to get, but like right now they're kind of like that. And so I'm hoping they get a little bit bigger. In here, I've got rosemary. So I do think I'm going to try to put some more herbs kind of in here as well. We have our grape plant over there. Okay, let me walk over here real quick. Our house is over there. And then over here, we've got the pasture. Previously, this was all like fenced off, and we took that fencing out, and yeah, this right here is comfrey. And so comfrey is a fantastic plant. It's great for your animals. It's great for mulch around trees. We had one right here, which is kind of cool. I dug this one out. It kind of looked similar to that one, or maybe even that one over there. It was huge. It was really big. What I did was I chopped it to the ground. I gave the leaves to my chickens and actually put some around trees, and I split the roots. It was actually really cool. I had a ton, and I've planted around the orchard a bunch of those plants. So essentially I've propagated it. And I put one back in here, and it is regenerating. And so I think that's super cool that that's happening. Over there, we've got our chicken tractors. One of them is occupied with Cornish cross, so a meat bird. They're ready very soon to be processed. We do that all here on farm, all ourselves. We don't send them away. They come here, they get raised here, they have a great life here, and then they have one bad day. So we've got some blueberry bushes here. We have our garden that's over there. Our laying hens, sort of showed that last night behind me as I was sitting watching my son on the trampoline. And then if you can see out in the pasture here, we have, that is our goats right there. So got 3 of them there. That's Odie, Callista, and Demeter. And then Fabio is over there. Fabio. So let's see. It looks like the cows may have went way down, way in the back there. There's a stream, and so they like to go down there. They get some shade, they get some water. And then our livestock guardian dogs, Faith and Ash, they're around here somewhere. You'll see them on videos to come. Over there and under the tarps, we've got compost going, so those need to be flipped and watered and what have you. And we have some ideas for what we're going to do back there. That used to be a chicken coop. We were having trouble with predators, to be honest with you. I think from a zoning perspective, if you think about permaculture, it was just too far from the house. And so now that we've got our chicken coop like right here, it's a lot better. I want to try the chicken tractor on steroids. If you don't know what that is, check out Permapasture's farm channel or even Two Old Crows Homestead. They are both doing, well, Permapasture Farm has mastered it, right? I mean, I think they would never say they invented it, but they perfected it and they really know what they're doing. So I would suggest definitely check them out. And then Two Old Crows Homestead. I know they've done it a number of times, and they have some great videos on that as well. More from a beginner's perspective and more from a stationary coop perspective. So, you know, if you're looking at getting into homesteading or, you know, kind of trying to figure out, okay, I get some property, what should I do, you know, in a year? I would suggest, people say go slow. I say go at your pace. I've found some channels where people have done a ton of stuff and they're thrilled with it. I think Ryan and I have done a ton of stuff and I'm thrilled with it. But you have to know your own pace and don't compare yourself to somebody else. You know, sometimes going slow makes a lot of sense. Know what you're doing. Take care of your animals. Take care of your crops. Take care of your land. Take care of your family. I mean, that's first and foremost. But, you know, it's one of those things where you really have to figure out your own pace. Walking up to the house here. It's actually a lot harder to talk and walk at the same time and film. I was going to show a porch here. I do have some herbs growing. So I've got some basil and I've got some oregano and I've got some cilantro. I'm trying my hand at onions in here. Kind of onions all over the place, to be honest with you, to try to figure out what's going to work best. I've got dill. Dill is fantastic. I've made my pickles. I've got bigger dill down in the greenhouse, so certainly didn't come from this. But I've got sage. Thyme, it looks like I'm struggling with a little bit. Chives, struggling with. Some good rosemary. And then I've got, somehow I got a oregano in with my rosemary. I don't know if it was just like on my hand as I was planting it, but this is certainly not rosemary. That looks very much like oregano, which is, sorry to kind of whip you around here, much more like that. So I'm not sure, you know, why that happened, but it did. Thanks for watching. If there is something you're interested about, you want to see more of, please drop a note. Let me know. I'm going to be showing the animals in more detail in terms of how we care for them, you know, what we do with them. Compost, we'll talk about comfrey, we'll talk about a bunch of different things. But I think what I want you to get out of this is that if you're going to try to start a homestead, find beginners like myself, like Two Old Crows Homestead. There's a bunch of beginners out there, but beware of people who are who have it all together, or seemingly all together, especially early on, because it's just, there's so much learning, and you can watch as many videos as you want, but unless you try your hand at it, unless you figure out what works in your location, for your soil, for your climate, for your different microclimates around your property. You can't cookie cutter everything. Mostly nothing. You can take concepts and then you can turn them into what works for you. Don't be afraid to try something that's going to work for you. All right. God bless, guys. Talk to you soon.